Why are some countries calling their frigates as destroyers? Is it just a coping mechanism because they don't want to admit they have no real destroyers? The British Type 42, Sheffield class, is the prime example of a ship that was called a destroyer by the British government, but if we analyze the actual armament and capabilities, it is clear that it was in reality a frigate. Initially, it did not even have any anti-ship missiles at all, and therefore possessed no offensive capability whatsoever. Imagine a destroyer that cannot even attack enemy ships. Although it did have a small cannon for short-range defense, but relying on short-range cannons in the modern missile era, when most Soviet ships already had long-range anti-ship missiles, is like bringing a knife to a gunfight. It didn't even stand a chance, and would lose instantly against a Soviet destroyer. This phenomenon is what military analysts call classification marketing, using a prestigious name to hide a lack of real power. At the same time, the Americans had the Charles F. Adams class, a true multi-role destroyer with Harpoon's anti-ship missiles and ASROC anti-submarine missiles, and the Soviet Union had the Sovremeny destroyer with its powerful P-270 Moskit supersonic anti-ship missiles, which made it one of the most powerful destroyer at that time. But the British Type 42 had nothing of that. It was almost completely useless against enemy ships. The fact that it was designated a destroyer by the British government was just an attempt to pretend the Royal Navy had destroyers when in fact they didn't. Even the American frigate Oliver Hazard Perry had more offensive power than the British Type 42. And this was literally just a frigate with very limited capabilities, yet it was still more powerful than Britain's best imagination destroyer. Today, the modern Type 45 frigate continues this arrogant British illusion. Yes, it has a world-class radar for airspace surveillance with some of the best anti-air missiles, but that alone does not put it on the same level with a real destroyer's capabilities, because it still lacks offensive power. Although it does have 8 anti-ship missiles, but so do all other frigates too. If that's already enough to make a ship a destroyer, then literally every modern frigate in the world would also be a destroyer now. British fanboys try to justify this by saying, but it can destroy aircraft, drones, and missiles, so it's an anti-air destroyer, right? Wow, amazing! Guess what? Frigates can destroy air targets too. Does that make every frigate a destroyer? No, of course not. It creates an illusion that the ship is comparable to real destroyers, when it actually does not even come close. That's why it's just an illusion, to make it look stronger than it actually is.